What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of R&P Podcast, giving you opinions on topics you've never asked for. I'm your host, PLAX. I'm here with my co-host, Rick. Rick, how you doing today, man?
It feels like a usual day, now that we're recording episodes.
Is it usual? We got something a little different going on today?
Do we? An extra special guest?
Hey, who is it?
You tell me, Steve.
None other than...
Stupid.
Incense. Everybody give a run. In front of a live studio audience, by the way. We're in a live studio audience, but before we get started, real quick, I'd like to give a huge shout out to DivineTheRapper for helping us out today. That's gonna catch me. There we go. Give a huge shout out to DivineTheRapper. So, Incense. First off, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
How you doing today? Okay.
I'm great.
Okay, so we only got a few questions for you. We don't got a lot, but we want you to just get in depth with us. Let us know. We got a little controversy up there too. So you, I definitely want to hear your opinion on that. We talked a little bit about that, but we'll get to that at the end.
More.
First, we'd like to talk about your project you dropped. Was it late last year or earlier this year?
It was earlier this year.
You sent me a link to that one.
Yeah,
I believe when you was having me go through people.
Local artists. Watch out! Listen to episode 6 that I heard.
Where you shouted out everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody in the world.
To the ones we once loved. So to me, it was a beautiful project. The title definitely matched the songs. But what was your inspiration to create that project?
So that project was actually songs that I had been working on for a while. It took me maybe 2-3 years to even get all these out. I was performing them and doing them in shows, but none of them were actually on platforms. Mm-hmm. But while I was making those songs, I just they're not even really my scenarios. That's the kicker there.
Okay.
They're not really my scenarios. They're literally just stuff that would come to my head, and I would be that would sound good at a song, and they all just kind of were love songs, and so I was just to the ones we once loved, because I wanted it to kind of be something where everyone could relate to it.
Okay. So basically, you was going through different scenarios in your head, and that's what came out.
Basically,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you find that I guess I feel like people really connect that with I guess more R&B singers or I guess more soulful singers in general. Do you find that making personal scenarios are the way to go when making songs? Or you feel if you think you can do it on a scenario you never went through or not a specific scenario, then
right.
you can still make good content?
I feel personal scenarios can get messy. Mm-hmm. And I also like to kind of change it up a little bit. Obviously some of them might be personal, some parts in the song might be personal, but I don't like having my business out there.
Respect.
And so I'm not trying to be the next Taylor Swift out here making a song about every single ex I broken up.
Taylor Swift is not just playing.
But no, seriously. And it's so I know a lot of women, we talk about relationships and different things, and it's just, movies, and so you're all right, bet. I kind of got some empathy here.
So you just use experience, maybe not personal, but just different experiences you've been through to create the project.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering because usually with I guess with songs like that, I usually just assume that the
it's
person
about
is talking.
Yeah,
I'm
not gonna lie. I thought that's what I thought too. I thought it was personal experiences.
Oh no, we're not giving you all my business. No. I love my fans, but you're good.
So one of the songs on there, "Talk to Me," was basically a remix to a song one of your only songs that you dropped on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So how did that go about? Did you? I understand people "Talk to Me." It did pretty good on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why you remixed it and put it on?
So the reason why I remixed it was because originally the beat for it was not something I owned, so I wanted to be able to post it everywhere and not get copyrighted and go to jail,
Yeah.
Get
sued like a motherfucker.
Sued like a motherfucker out here, and I was and I don't got money for that, so I'm definitely going to jail.
Right.
But anyways, but no, so I was okay, bet so we had the beat, and I was okay, bet I'm just gonna record over this one, and it honestly sounded better. I was bet this was how it was supposed to be. Because the original beat, it was like, I found that beat on a limb. Like, I wrote the song, because I write songs without beats. I wrote the song, and then I was on YouTube, and I was like, fuck, I gotta find a beat. Like, I want to perform it tonight, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I was in study hall in high school, and I was like, oh, shit. This is the beat. I was like, this is it. Like, it matches perfectly. And then, like I said, it wasn't mine, so I switched the beat, and that's where the remix came in.
Own your beats, kids.
Own your beats. We tell you this all the time. Own your beats.
We're not even a music podcast.
Yeah. We talk about it, but like, own your beats.
Yeah.
Own your beats.
Who did you have produce the project? You said you purchased your beats this time.
Yeah.
So who did you have work on the project?
So I had 2 different producers on it. I had Maro on there. And then I also had Air King on there. Air King was who produced Talk to Me, actually.
Okay. So I don't know if you want to leak it, but do you have any other music on the way, or are you just chilling, taking a break?
So recently I've written maybe 1 song, but lately I've been like kind of veering away from music. I still like it, and I still like to sing, and I still like performing. It's just, I'm not inspired, and I don't do this for money, and I'm not doing this for, like, fame and popularity. So when it comes to me, it comes to me. So I'm sorry, y'all, but it might be a while before another project comes out.
No.
But
one tear goes
down. I'm sorry.
No, but I definitely respect that. You go where your heart takes you.
Yeah, shouldn't force anything.
That's really understandable. And if you force it, it might not be as good as you want.
Right, and I feel like things, when it comes down to music, it should be based off of a little bit of experience, but also like just knowing things. And right now I'm in the process of knowing things. So once I know the things that I want to know, I will share them through music. Because I don't want to make another love album. It's just not really my thing right now.
You want to create something that means something.
Yeah.
Not that love doesn't mean, but
right. I'm a lovebirds out there.
Gotcha. So you take a little break from music, but as most people should know, business ventures. You got a lot of those.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk about is your jewelry business.
Yeah. So the jewelry business was kind of out the blue. I was in college in Florida, and I was like, ooh, like I could totally wrap crystals, and I was like, I love crystals, and I've been connected to crystals since I was little as hell. Like I was tiny when my mom was showing me crystals and showing me their energies and teaching me how to charge them, and so I was like, ooh, like I could wrap them and give them to people. And I recently had encountered being with a person who was very had ill intentions when they gave people wrapped crystals. And so I was like, at the end of the day, I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to be able to give something to someone with the best intentions possible. Right. Because in the spirituality community, unfortunately, people are just not in it for the right reasons. Oh. So I wanted to be in it for the right reasons.
But no, in situations like that, I'm not the most spiritual motherfucker in the world. I do know a little something. Don't they usually come back and bite you in the ass?
It does, because karma's, a bitch.
Karma's
like everybody
a bitch.
knows.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like what you produce out into the world is what is gonna come back on you.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, when you're doing things for money and for money's sake, it's gonna come back on you, and I don't know how it's gonna come back on you, but it will.
But it comes back, right.
It's not good. You should just do it with the best intention.
Do you think that's tainting the spiritual community a little bit, or do you think
definitely? Yeah, I definitely think so. I feel like spirituality kind of got, because of TikTok. Sorry for all my TikTok lovers out there. I love TikTok too.
TikTok is for comedy.
Hell yeah, but it's just you can learn some things on there. I'm not gonna lie. I've learned a couple of things when it comes down to spirituality, but because of TikTok, it's been kind of served on a silver platter now. It's like, yo, I can go to Hot Topic and buy crystals and sage, and so for people who go to mythological stores and are promoting these businesses and helping these businesses, it's like, damn, bro, shit, and actually does this thing because he likes it and not because it's a marketing tactic.
Right, a marketing scheme.
Yeah. it's it's highly trendable right now, and it's
Right.
just
Right. And I see that too. It seems like a couple years ago, people were like, "Oh, that's weird shit."
yeah.
And then now it seems like it's a surplus of people that's
Yeah.
spiritual all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with it, but like you said, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons or doing it to be cool,
Right.
then you might as well just stop.
There's definitely been a resurge in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
For stuff like that.
Because I remember when we was in high school, like people that like were in that type of thing, you'd be like, oh, like you get a little weird look.
Yeah.
And then we become adults, and now everybody think it's cool. And I'm like, I remember you used to talk shit about people.
Oh yeah, it's funny though
But
because
okay.
it's like I feel like recently it's been more scientifically proven. Mindfulness has been scientifically proven to work for people.
Manifesting and stuff.
Manifesting and the metaphysics of that, and it's just science is now starting to get a little bit more detailed. So things where we're saying like everything is vibrating, everything is energy, everything is moving, that's becoming proven by science. And so when people can prove things by science, it makes them feel a little better. Like when I was coming out of college, they were starting to put courses in for like psychology, but it was like mindfulness psychology.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, like damn, like this is really becoming the move. And it's like it's beautiful, but it's beautiful when you put the work in and you actually go through the steps of it and you actually go through the journey of it, and you're not just hopping on things because someone said, oh, go buy Moldavite, oh, go buy this, oh, go buy that. When it's based off of money, it becomes tainted.
Okay. So seeing that schools are implementing spirituality a little bit more into the curriculums, do you think that's the good part of it becoming more mainstream, or would you rather it just be the way it was before?
So personally, I haven't been in any classes that involve spirituality in that way, or at least refer to it. But I would say as long as it's proper knowledge going out, and these professors are going in and saying, okay, like we're gonna recognize where these things came from. Let's recognize that Native Americans brought this here, African people brought this here, Spanish speaking people brought this here. So, at the end of the day, as long as you're paying homage to who these originally came from, I feel like you can still give really good knowledge that way. But once it becomes for better lack of word, whitewashed, and it becomes very European based, sorry to say it, but it's just wrong. You're taking a culture and you're appropriating it to make money off of it, and that can even be in a college setting. But I would say what I do respect is the idea of people going into mindfulness a little bit more. I don't think that that's culturally based. I feel like that's everyone. Everyone can be mindful.
Right.
But it's starting. I think it's beautiful because in college you're learning from, as you're developing that, hey, I don't have to be on a go basis. I can take a moment to really be in my element and actually feel what's around me, because that's proven to be healthy for the human body.
Okay, that was dope. Thank you. So that was dope. So we were talking about your jewelry though. We do that a lot though. We go on. We
usually hold it down on.
It's 50-50, I'd say. But so with your jewelry business though.
Yeah.
What's your goals, and what's the stuff that you're trying to do, and what's the stuff you're trying to accomplish with that?
Yeah, so with the jewelry, I do oracle readings. I don't like calling them tarot readings because I do use tarot, but I'm a more oracle-based reader.
I'm gonna act like I know it all.
So just to give a brief
what does that mean?
Brief explanation. So oracle is more based on I'm here to help you through the problems that you already know are there. I'm here to help you through the things that you already know is happening in your life. I'm here to give advice. Tarot is more, I would say the predictions and the being able to be like, oh, like this is gonna happen and this is how you should deal with it. Okay. Oracle can kind of do that, and I can kind of get those messages out there, but I think I help a lot better when I'm able to just like talk to a person about what they're going through, and I'm able to pull cards on like what's the best way to handle specific situations. But brief in explanation. But for the jewelry aspect of it, what my goal is here is readings that I give.
Okay.
Because, if your reading is telling me like you're lacking creativity or, you need to, go into yourself a little bit more, I'm able to bring a piece together for you that will help promote those things in you and help bring those things out of you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you was talking about your Oracle business. Well, I didn't even write that down. I forgot about
No,
that.
it's good. It's all intertwined.
Yeah. So, do you usually do stuff face to face, or do you do stuff over the phone, or how do you usually do it?
Or over Zoom.
Yeah, or over Zoom.
So
that's over the phone.
Right. Oh my god.
Back in my day,
Didn't they used to do those like the that was more like, I guess, gimmicky, like fortune telling.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
Miss Zimbabwe, whatever the fuck her name was.
Miss who?
She had a name similar to that. That wasn't her name, but
it was Miss Zimbabwe.
It was similar to that. Yeah.
Miss Zimbabwe.
It's not that. I'm not saying it's that. I'm saying it's similar. Not saying it's
that's
that.
like saying Miss America was trying to read fortunes. Like that's the equivalent.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. So.
I'm done.
So how do you usually do that? Is it more face to face or do you?
So now in COVID days, I do offer the option of Zoom or over the phone calls. Eventually, the over the phone FaceTime ones though are gonna have to cut because too many people be knowing my number now because I'm calling them.
Okay.
So I don't want that, but I do try to lean towards Zoom as I'm trying to get a little bit more professional around it. I am trying to lean towards Zoom a little bit more and actually building a website for things. But at the end of the day, I can do them in person. I can do them wherever. In person, I feel like I get a little nervous about because people want to come to my house and I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't do laundry last night. I don't do your apartment. I don't think you want to see my mess on my floor.
I was just about to ask you, do you prefer in person or do you prefer
if I
Zoom?
do it in person, I'd rather go to a coffee shop or meet you at a park somewhere.
Yeah.
I like to meet people somewhere instead of bringing them to my home.
That's also safer.
Yeah. But for people who I know, obviously come over, let's hang out, let's do whatever. But people that I don't know,
right.
People I don't know, especially obviously it gets a little weird being a female with guys coming over. It's just weird, So I do prefer the Zoom. Zoom has come in handy. It's also nice too, I do them on Facebook Live. So you post my link for my Facebook.
Oh yeah,
I'll be doing some live ones on Instagram and on Facebook, and those are helpful too. And I've still been able to help people the same way. I was a little skeptical at first because I felt you need to be in the room with the person to feel their energy. But phones are a portal, man. I'm telling you, it's weird. Phones connect you to people in a different kind of way. And I never realized it until I started doing these readings where I was like, wow, you really are connected to people in a different kind of way.
It's about what's in it, bro. Everybody gives their energy to their phone.
Face the camera to you, Divine. Say it again.
It's about what's in it, bro. There are literally crystals in your phone. Think it's a game. Look it up.
She's wrong. She's not wrong. There's crystals. Because anything made from the earth can be called a crystal, essentially.
But they are literally crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're made to remember things. That's what crystals do.
Yeah.
Okay. So we discussed your jewelry business a little bit. You also are a very great cook. I know this personally because I ordered pastelitos from you and they were fucking amazing. So
is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Did I say how?
Yeah, you got them.
Sometimes that'd be 50-50.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So what's your plan? Because you do music a little bit from time to time, and then you do your jewelry business. How is the food business implemented into that?
So I personally don't like 9-to-5 jobs. I think that they're.
Same as fuck.
I think that it's just a waste of my energy and time when I can literally make money from home. When I can literally make money from home. So basically, I was like, my mom needed some help with making money, and I've been cooking with her since I was a little kid, and I was like, well, why don't you make food? Let's make food. And I was like, you know, if you need help, I can be here. But I mean, I can't be here 100% of the time,
Mhm.
but I can help you. And so I was like, okay, like, let's do it. And it just kind of picked up from there. Like, it was, like, kind of cool because it was like, okay, like, this is something I'm used to making. And patelillos, I've been making those since I was a little girl.
Right.
And my dad and my grandmother were teaching me how to make them. So I was like, at the end of the day, like, my grandmother also taught my mom how to make food. Like, even though it wasn't her child, like, she still taught her.
Right.
So it was like, okay, bet, like, let's bring her presence alive by making food. And people love patelillos, and I was like, chicken wing dip patelillos, fire, and I was like, let's do it. Like, it just all worked out really well.
So it's more like a family business.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely not me solo. I've done solo stuff before, like, to help people when I want to, like, make the vegan ones. But other than that, no, it's definitely, it's definitely family based.
Okay. Do you guys have a name for it, or y'all just?
We are still working on that. You know, at the end of the day, we should just. At first, it just started as we just need a little extra money for Christmas time, and then I was like, well, why don't we make an actual thing? Like, I got photo shoots taken of our food, and we did it professionally.
Beautiful
and I was
photos,
like,
by the way.
thank you. Yeah, I was like, you know, let's just put a name on it, and like, let's get the show on the road, which is coming soon, guys.
Okay.
We're working.
Okay. On top of all that other stuff, music, jewelry, food, you are also a show promoter. That's basically what I come with me and you do from time to time. So how does that play into your day-to-day, basically?
So that is where all my creativity comes out, because I'm like, yo. Because I go to different shows, and don't get me wrong, they're great. I love the shows in Buffalo. Buffalo has great shows. But I feel like sometimes they lack a little bit of substance. I feel like they do need to change up a little bit, and things need to go, you know, add something different. Add something that kind of attracts more of a crowd. And more of, like, different people, I would say. Like, not, like, the same people all the time. Do something that kind of appeals to other people. So I was like, you know what? I can throw events. And, again, my grandmother used to throw events all the time. My dad loves throwing parties. And I was like, let's go. Like, I could be an interior decorator in this bitch.
Okay.
So, yeah, I love that shit.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Micaela and I usually do shows together for the most part. I helped you with a couple. She helped me with a couple. You learn a lot from going to other people's shows. And like she said, they're great, but you learn what you can improve from watching other people and what they did. Maybe not the greatest what they did.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. Like, I feel like it's like everyone has their level of doing things. You know, some people may have lacked a little bit of creativity with it. Some people just are like, yo, I really need some money right now. And the best way to do it is to just throw a show.
Right.
And it's like, yo, respect. Like, do what you got to do out here. But I was like, you know what? I can do that, and because I have the time to kind of get creative with it, why not get creative with it? Yeah, it's not rushed. I can sit here and plan a show for a year and not say nothing and just sit there and just plan in my head. And I can be like, I mean, technically I kind of have one. That was like a foreshadow for the future. I have been planning a show, but obviously COVID happened and a lot of other things happened. So I was like, at the end of the day, like, damn, I can't do what I wanted to do. So now that I have time, because fuck the 9 to 5s, I was like, we're out here. Like, I'm about to do some crazy show. It's going to be so exciting, and I'm so excited to show everybody once it's all put together.
Yeah, COVID definitely shitted on. I had, we talked about it, I had like 5 shows planned.
Yeah.
COVID shitted on me
crazy.
I still did a couple of shows.
Well, I mean, like, my shows.
Okay,
not just
you still did a couple.
Yeah, I went and performed, but it wasn't my show.
It wasn't like we put the shows together, which again, great. I love performing for people, but some people are a little unorganized, and I like to be the example rather than just like telling people like, yo, this is what you should do. I'm like, yo,
right, when you could just do it.
Yeah, like I could just do it, and then when people are like, yo, how did it go that smooth? I can be like, this is how it went. But I want to be able to show people rather than just tell people.
And it's the thing, like you gotta be mindful of the talent that you have performing. You gotta be mindful of food and how many people's coming in and stuff like that. And
hell yeah.
I've noticed people don't always pay attention to each thing. Not saying we don't fuck up. Me and her done fucked up, and we in the middle of a show like, okay, how we gonna fix this right now? Like, oh shit, I forgot this or something like that. But just being mindful, and it goes back to being mindful. Being mindful and just making sure you're paying attention to each thing you're doing and paying attention to each detail, it'll come out as best as you want it to.
Right. Well, also too, it's like we're good at getting back together at the end of shows and being like, okay, bet, from a perspective of not being like, oh my god, it was a great show, we made money, like let's go.
What went wrong?
What went wrong? Like what could we improve on for next time? What went well? Yes, but also what went wrong? What are things that went wrong that were in our hands, and what were things that went wrong that were out of our hands? Right. So, and how can we combat both of them in different ways so that it all still flows very nicely?
Like if it wasn't in our control, what was something that we can do to prevent that next time?
Right, or like how can we hire more people to be there for when those things happen?
Right. Exactly.
I agree that's like the best way. Trial and error, really, with doing shows. I agree that it's the best way. It's trial and error when you're doing shows, okay? For real, you learn from other people, you learn from your own mistakes, you learn from their mistakes, and that shit done.
Mm-hmm. Divine also does a slew of shows.
Hell yeah, yo, her shows are
awesome shows. So, you do music.
Mm-hmm.
You're an amazing artist, a beautiful voice. You make jewelry. You do oracle readings. You make food with your family. You're a show promoter with me and on your own.
Yeah.
Is there? You don't need it, but is there other stuff that you do on top of all those things? Or that you plan on doing?
Yeah. So right now I'm in a. Right now I'm kind of in a, I guess hermit state is what people like to call them.
Okay.
I like to. Because I'm still trying to figure out, like, what my niche is. Like, I like doing those things, and I love doing them, and I like having fun. But that's, like, my fun. That's what I do to make a little extra money on the side and have fun.
Bro.
Yeah, like, that's light work for me. That sounds so bad. I mean, it's work. It definitely is work. But, I mean, what do I do when I'm not making bracelets? What am I doing? Like, I'm not making fucking jewelry 24/7 in a day.
You could.
And I could. But would I enjoy it? Not really. And I want to give you the best intention with every piece I sell you. Mm-hmm. But on the side, and what at the end of the day, what's going to make me the real money? Like, where am I going to get the real money from? And not saying I can't do it with my business. Not saying that at all. But while I'm still building my business,
money,
what can I do on the side that's going to give me consistent, good money?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually working on, like, health and nutrition right now. I have been for the past 3 years, been doing research, been triangulating, and my own body is my workforce, I guess you can say. Okay. Because I've struggled
trial and error with yourself.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is me. Like I refuse to work with other people right now until I can show that I did it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. And it's been a journey. It's been 3 years of a great journey, and I wouldn't regret anything.
So what is some stuff that you learned in your journey with health and nutrition like that? Maybe some stuff that you can debunk yourself, or maybe some stuff that you know for sure works. What's some stuff that you learned on your journey?
Calories in versus calories out.
Ooh, okay. What's that?
That is the key here.
Okay.
I mean, you have all these different diets, and I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do them. But do what sounds reasonable to you. If you love meat, and you love eating meat and cheese, don't go on a vegan diet. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you force yourself to do something that you know you don't eat? Because it should be sustainable. It should be something that you can wake up every morning and be like, boom, like this is what I'm going to eat, and this is what I like to eat, and I
you're
enjoy
not
this
disgusted
food.
either. Right.
Because I remember getting into this, and I was like, I'm just going to eat vegetables all day long. And I'm like, that's nice and all. I like some substance to my meal. Like, let me get a burger.
I want something else.
So I was like, yo, like I can still eat healthy and just eat more vegetables. Just add more vegetables to your plate. Instead of adding that extra, serving of pasta, what can you do to add vegetables to that? What can you do to add another substance-filled thing? Because at the end of the day, it's like, not all calories are the same, which I want to make sure that that's put out there. Okay. Not all calories are the same. Just because I said calories in, just because I say calories in, calories out, like, and that's
you gotta watch the other one. I put it as a lot lot of shit in there.
Hell yeah.
No.
No, but just because I say calories in, calories out doesn't mean go eat a cupcake instead of having a meal.
Damn.
Because sorry, Steve. No, because it's like, now what is that cupcake doing in your body? What does that nourish in your body, and what is it helping you do later? Because at the end of the day, food is fuel. Food is meant to give you the substances that you need in order to live, in order to live a healthy life. So what can you eat that you like, that you enjoy eating and putting in your mouth every day, that is going to give you the proper nutrients that you need? And if that's meat for you, that's meat for you. If it's not meat for you, then it's not meat for you. Okay. But being like, you should absolutely do a keto diet is like, if it's not something that fits you, then don't do it.
Yeah, right.
And that's easier for you to quit because you're like, this shit is disgusting.
Exactly, and that's where you get those yo-yo diets, grocery stores. My main thing I tell people is just shop out around the edges of the grocery store. Don't go into the middle section. You need bread? Okay, get your bread. Whatever, wherever that is in your store. Go to that section. Get your crackers or the little things that you know are healthy in the middle, but really just focus on the edges of the store. Okay. Because that's where the nutrition stuff is.
Oh, wow. So is that like something that you found out? Oh, shit.
Because that's where most of your, like, when you think about a grocery store, the layouts 9 times out of 10 are, your produce is going to be right around the edges. Yeah. Your meat is going to be around the edges. Your cheeses are going to be around the edges. Everything that is going to actually nourish your body around the edges of the store. Right. The middle part is just marketing.
Yeah. The aisles and shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is there any stores that you in the Buffalo area that you specifically go to, or is it like what?
So right now, because I live in the area, I go to Price Right, because it's cheap, because I'm literally across the street from it. So, and it's cheap. Oh my god, it's so cheap. But I also like to go to the Tops right there on Niagara. They have some of the best produce.
That's the next time.
And they have all of the, like, my tropical fruit, because I'm bougie, but you don't have to get tropical fruit. But I guess sometimes I go to Lexington, but if...
I've never been to Lexington.
It's definitely, I'm sorry to say it, it's definitely centered around white people. It's definitely not meant for your everyday, like, college student.
But it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. No.
It's worth it.
They definitely have great stuff there, and I do go there for, like, the things that I want that I normally wouldn't get from any other store. Okay. Because I do try to follow a mostly plant-based diet. So they just kind of have all the, like, bougie shit that, like, Tops and that doesn't have. But I go grocery shopping pretty much anywhere. I'll go to Aldi's too, like, wherever it's cheap.
just make sure you're being cognizant of what you're purchasing.
Absolutely. Okay. I don't think it matters on the store. Like I said, the middle section is just for show. It's just there for the marketing. But every store has the same layout around the edges of the store. A lot of times it's the bad shit that you probably shouldn't be eating. Right. That's where you're gonna find your chips and all those marketing candy bar things that it's candy. You might call it a granola bar, but it's candy. It's nothing but sugar. Yeah. I call it a candy bar. Sorry, because that's what it is. Okay. Sorry, Devon. I'm there. And I'm not saying that all of them are bad. I'm just saying 9 times out of 10, like, they're gonna be like, yeah, there's protein and there's this in there and there's all these healthy things. But then if you open up the thing and you look at the sugar, it's like 32 grams of sugar. Right. And you're like, fuck, bro. And like, how else do you make all that shit stick together? Right, like sugar.
Not trying to play.
No, it's not a natural fix. Is there anything else like that? Because I need it. Is there anything else that you got that you can give to the audience and recognize nutrition?
One thing I would say, because right now I'm on like a fitness journey. Okay. Nutrition obviously plays a part, but like I said, as long as you're eating a healthy diet and you're eating mostly just real food and not processed, you want to like look a certain way, like bodybuilding. But I mean, I'm still studying all that right now. Right. That's where I'm on to right now. So far, it's just been trial and error of like debunking and stuff. But I would say the next thing that is most important is just get your body moving. Okay. Get your body moving, because no matter what it is, I don't care if it's just yoga, I don't care if it's just walking. Mm-hmm. Get your body moving. One, because it helps with digestion. So many people are telling me like, oh my god, I just can't, a little TMI, I just can't use the bathroom a little bit. Like, I'm having problems with digestion. I'm having issues. Maybe it's my nutrition. But it's like, no, bro, because you're eating and you're laying down. Like, you're eating and you're just going to go sleep it off. In your stomach, and that shit just sits in your stomach. And it, like, you need to work it through your body. Like, you need to move your body around. And I've noticed that after a workout, like, is the best time. Like, you go straight to the bathroom. Like, because you've worked that food throughout your body. So yeah, just keeping yourself active. For my ladies out there, lift weights. Don't let people tell you that lifting weights is gonna make you huge. That does not happen.
And if a nigga get too loud, slam him on the ground.
Period.
Are we supposed to promote?
No. That's why I said I was playing.
Just making sure, I gotta mark these videos something.
The one nigga that was gonna sponsor us, he's like, nope. Never mind.
But yeah, like, weights, unless you're doing like progressive overloading where you're just adding more and more weight to it.
I know what that is.
I got you. Progressive overloading is when you're just adding more weight to it and just doing less reps. Unless you're like doing that vigorously in the gym, you're not gonna bulk. It's actually really hard to gain muscle like that. And you also need to eat a certain kind of diet to be able to lose the body fat percentage around that. But if you're just hitting the gym and you're like, okay, bet, like, I'm gonna lift a little bit of weights, that's actually better for you because it keeps the weight off long term. Okay. Because muscle is going to help burn fat.
Yeah.
So you just want to gain muscle.
So would you say when you go to work out, is it better to do like more variety throughout each day, or like what would you recommend mostly for people?
So personally, right now, it's hard for me to recommend. It's hard for me to recommend much anything because I do CrossFit training twice a week.
Okay.
And that is I got you. Multiple different kinds of forms of workout. You're running, you're lifting, you're doing all different kinds of things, and it's great. But it's also high risk of injury. Like, that's high impact. If you're a person who can't do high impact, then go walking, maybe run, but I would be careful too with that.
That depends on the person.
That's hitting, foot to pavement, and that can be a little bit strenuous.
Oh man. Let me know I'm a fucking goof.
Listen.
My ankle already hurting and I didn't even do anything. So.
But if your thing is, I want to go swim, go take a class, just move your body. I would say if you're trying to reach a certain goal is when it comes in like, okay, should I do more cardio? Should I do more of this? Like, yes, obviously add cardio into your workouts. Okay. But if your goal is to really like gain and tone muscle,
you should be lifting.
You should also be lifting, and that should be a bulk of your workout. Cardio, it works, yes, it helps you lose fat. But it's not like you have to be on the treadmill for an hour.
Right.
Go on the treadmill for 15 minutes. Warm up on the treadmill for 5 minutes. But you don't need an excessive amount of cardio, I would say.
Okay. So for variety for the average person is probably the best bet.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, dope. So is there anything else that you want to school us on?
I don't know. If you have any questions.
We've learned a lot of shit.
Yeah. Okay, Divine said, what's my favorite workout? I love CrossFit training. I recommend it to everyone. I think it brings you to a point where you're so athletic in everything that, like, as I did my research and doing, like, watching videos and stuff of, like, different kinds of training, like, take on the same work, like, CrossFit trainers and CrossFit, like, athletes were showing the best performance. They were still able to lift heavy. They were still able to do the athletic things. The body form is what I would say is like your standard body form that gets to get built with CrossFit training. You're not bulking a certain area. You really are creating like the perfect athletic body. And I like CrossFit just because I hate running. I hate running. And CrossFit, like, it's very minimal running. Like, sometimes one day, like, he might throw in like a lot of running, but I like it because it's not like I'm on the treadmill for a half an hour trying to fucking lose weight, and I got all these skinny people running next to me, outrunning me like a motherfucker. But I exceed because I'm like, yo, like I'm strong. Like, I can lift shit, and I love lifting stuff, and I feel like a bad bitch when I do it. Like, yo, what? Like, and so many girls are like, oh my god, I don't want to bulk. And I'm like, no, bitch.
Do it, right.
Do that shit. Because when you're next to a guy in the gym, and he's, like, lifting something a little bit lighter, and then you pull out a 135-pound weight up to, like, doing a deadlift, it's like...
Oh, yo, you deadlift? Oh,
yo, listen.
Oh,
listen.
She said, I'm not ready for them guns.
Right.
I'm not ready for them guns.
Period. No.
That's dope, though. That's dope. Thank you so much for all of that.
That don't shake me.
I think
if I was over there, like, struggling, and I just seemed like...
I'm telling you, I love it. It brings so much.
Hold on, wait. I'd
be like, you got different weights than me?
Oh,
like,
my God.
Like starter weights?
Like, you got girl weights.
Yeah, like, these starter weights?
No, Kat, I just like, could you please help me? I'm having trouble over here.
Yo, that's funny because so like I always say like the most intimidating people in the gym are probably the biggest sweethearts ever. And if you walked up to them and was like, "Yo, bro, can you spot me?" They'd be like, "Yeah, I got you. Like, let's do it."
Because they enjoy working out.
Yeah,
they enjoy that shit. Right?
And they enjoy watching people see results. Like, it's so fun because and that's another reason why I like CrossFit is because it's the only sport where the person who's finishing last is getting the most cheers. Like the person who's struggling the hardest, and it's me. That's me. The person who's struggling the hardest, me, is the one who everyone's like, yo, like you got it, like keep going. And it's like, yo, I love it because it boosts your confidence so much more, and I feel like that's what you really need when you're doing this is just the confidence.
So are you in a class of people or is it just you? Okay.
So the way that my trainer does it, which hit my boy up, join our Armada gang,
Okay. I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was gangs in CrossFit.
Yeah.
That sounds dangerous.
She got off.
Just niggas choking you out. No guns.
Just running down on you.
He's like, I hear running. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Y'all are hilarious.
So I want to transition real quick. We was talking about music in the beginning. I want to transition real quick a little bit back to you. So me and you do shows and stuff like that. How do you feel about performing?
I like performing.
Okay.
I enjoy it. I just don't. Again, some of the shows I've been in with the city, just because we are still growing and people are still learning, it's been a little like rocky, I would say.
Oh really?
You said what?
I said, oh really? I was just saying like it's hard in Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's
not crabs in a barrel.
Yeah, it's just a little rocky because people. I feel like again, it's the intention. So again, if you're throwing this show to just make some extra money. And to kind of just do whatever and have like play around with it. A lot of times the show doesn't go as smoothly as it could because there's not as much thought put back into it.
Right.
So I've been a part of quite a bit of shows where it was like super unprofessional and like unorganized, and it kind of after a while just gets tiring because it's a lot of energy taken out. Especially when someone wants you to sit at a show for hours past the time that you were supposed to perform.
Oh, really?
And it's like, yo, bro, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, I have a life past this performance shit, and I don't want to do this now. Like,
payment is also.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, especially when I'm doing it for free and I got all this energy I'm throwing into this, Or I'm doing it where people like want money for you to perform, or when people like don't want to pay you, or they do pay you, and it's like I'm gonna just toss you like $10. Like, here you go, have a great day.
And it's like,
I'm like, thanks.
I was talking to Morrow yesterday, and he was like, he made a point similar to that. It's like he's like, I ain't been valued at $10 an hour since I was in high school. So you're gonna like at a regular job or my personal shit. So you're not gonna pay me anything less than 20 or anything less than $25 an hour. And I respect that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like it depends on how. I feel like it should be discussed with the artist. Like, okay, do you want to be paid per song? Do you want to be paid per hour? Honestly, I'm starting to get to the point where I'd rather be paid per hour, because sometimes I'm sitting at these gigs for 5-6 hours.
And you can't leave because you ain't got your bread yet.
Yeah, or you can't leave because you haven't performed yet, or you're waiting because the set list now changed, or someone doesn't want to stay, so now they gotta go up first,
or
and now you're waiting
to jump in
again.
and perform.
Yeah, so it's like
that wasn't originally supposed to perform.
Right.
Y'all
And that's what
got a lot of beef.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's not like that.
In the tech side, they cool over here on the tech side.
We all chilling over in tech.
They tell me what I need to do. I type it in and
But see, I've even seen though, like with tech, when it comes down to like for shows, like when you're prolonging the set list and prolonging the show and making people wait, and there's all these technical difficulties because you didn't prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not saying, obviously things happen. Shit happens. We all know this. But that is why it's up to you as the person making the show to prepare for it and be ready to be hit with those things. Don't, make people wait an hour, 2 hours in between because you didn't have something set up. Mm-hmm. Because now it's like, my energy and my time is being taken at this
Another thing too, we ran into this issue a few times at some point. Your DJ and the people that's working your music when people about to perform, you don't want those lulls in between songs.
Yeah.
That's very that throws off the whole energy of the
It definitely does.
And I've definitely ran into them issues before. You definitely don't want that.
Right. And I would say my last comment about it is being a singer, and especially being like an R&B singer and a soulful singer. It's kind of weird because some people don't know how to place shows. Like, they don't know how to place people in the set list. Mm-hmm. So, like, they'll, like, throw all of the R&B artists, like, in the middle of the set list. And I'm like, so you're just having a big sleep period in the middle of the fucking set list. Yeah, and it's like, turn up, get everyone's attention in the beginning. And it's like, sleep. And then, turn up. And it's like, that's just not good business. Because now those artists that you just got to sit here for 6 hours because you're not prepared, now like their performance isn't even what it should have been because you also didn't make a good set list for them that can help them.
Now, is that why does that alter your feelings about performing because of how things are in the town and shit like that? A lot of times?
Yeah, I definitely have been a little bit more conscious about just being like, I'll do the next show. Like, because I was at one point where I was like, I want to be in every show possible out here. But now I'm like, sometimes it's actually better to really just sit back and watch. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, see what happens, like I've been letting myself do that a little bit more because it kind of has given me the chance to be like, okay, well, I'm not letting them do that to me during my show. Or I'm not letting them do that to me during my show. And coming from, like, originally when I was performing with choirs. And I was taught the professional side first, which was, you get in, you rehearse, you do a sound check, and then you sit in the back and kind of that does not exist in this industry right now.
No dry runs.
None of those.
So you just get the mic and you just gotta
and that's where a lot of the problems start to lie because now I'm sitting here. And I didn't get a dry run. I didn't get a chance to see what I sound like on the music and if something has to get turned up or turned down. And most of the things nowadays, it's like, we're recording, we're getting audio, we're getting visual. So, like, you want to make sure that when you're getting audio and visual and stuff like that, like, you want to make sure that the sound in the back or the sound of the music the person's singing over is not louder than them. Especially because a lot of these scenes are party scenes. So, like, you want to be able to hear both equally.
A lot of the drill rappers like that shit though.
Yeah.
They like it.
I'm not a drill rapper.
She's not a drill rapper.
I'm just saying.
I'm not a drill rapper.
It's a
do that for their set list. Yeah. Not for mine.
So
and that's why those sound checks are important.
So speaking of like singers and rappers and stuff like that.
Where are we at?
Yes.
No, I was just saying.
What?
I was saying when was he out on the thing?
The last question.
Yeah, the last one. What are you doing?
I'm following the
What are you doing?
Because you was ready to be like, other than, and I'm like, we at the last part. Unless you was freestyling.
if you let me finish.
Oh, my fault. You got it.
Speaking of singers and rappers and things like that,
I got it. I was confused.
how do you feel rappers and singers are treated differently?
He's acting like that, but we've been on the
industry?
last question. So I just.
Well, no, he asked what you liked about performing, and then
Give
he
it the
said-
program. Yeah.
I was following along.
Incense.
Okay.
I'm back to you. God damn.
I was with it. I was with it. You confused me.
Speaking of singers and rappers in the town.
Yes.
Do you feel like singers and rappers, or I guess in between would be like, I call them ringers, singers, people that do both.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference in treatment between the three, basically?
I would definitely say yes. I would say because of the town being more focused on rap music, I would say, I'm not saying like it's more prevalent, because there's a lot of singers, there's a lot of, what did you call them? Ringers?
Yeah, ringers.
There's a lot of those, like everyone does different things, and I feel like some rappers even bust into singing sometimes, and like that's beautiful. But being in a town where most of the underground scene is just rap, it's been it's a little difficult, I would say, because you want to be able to get out there, and the way to get out there is with features and doing things with other artists and
doing shows.
Yeah, doing shows. And so like on the end of like features, I would say it's a little difficult because I get rappers sometimes, and I love working with people. Don't get me wrong, I love featuring on people's music, but you also have to be real with yourself, and say, okay, I'm a drill rapper. I'm a trap rapper. Like I rap to trap music.
Throw some R&B
I'm not
there.
gonna throw an R&B singer on there.
Why not?
Or a soul singer. I'm like,
If
you
it's
can.
done correctly.
You
Nah,
can.
featuring Aretha Franklin there.
That'd be crazy.
That shit was some heat.
Some people could do it, but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
your specific
Future,
style.
Right. And
If you do it properly.
Right, and I've heard a couple other singers say this themselves. It's cool, but now like you want me to hop on here for free and they gotta do extra work, bro? Because I like to.
This is on 1%.
Oh my god.
I like to essentially develop my vocals. I like to build my vocals, and I feel like a lot of singers should be able to do that. But when it comes down to rap music, it's a little difficult to do that because you gotta sing at a certain tone, or you gotta sing in a certain way to kind of fit their music. And I notice that a lot of rappers don't like to meet us halfway.
Okay.
So like you can do trap like that, but like or like drill, but like and like for ringers that might work, but for a soulful R&B singer, like you gotta bring it down just a little bit.
Right.
Bring down the vibes just a smidge. I'm not saying you have to change your whole sound, but meet me halfway.
It's tough to be like, I kill niggas on the daily, murder niggas each day, and then you want Micaela to break it down.
Again.
That's very tough.
I feel like
That
you
is
get the
very-
right combination.
If you do, but again, like how many?
Well, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like how many of us are
Just
doing
for
that?
general,
But and then
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah, there are so many different. Sorry.
No, you good.
No,
There are so many different styles of music
Yeah.
that could very well work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just she's saying that people are unwilling to do what works for her. Some artists
Some
are.
artists.
Willing, right.
And what I'm also saying too is like at the end of the day, if I'm gonna put in more work to become a little bit different out of my element, then I should be getting paid for that. I'm coming out of my element to be able to meet you in your element. Then I should be getting paid for that and an adamant amount of money because now I'm taking extra time out to try to figure out how I can fit around you. But also too, like in the same sense, I would say if you do want to do a sound like that, then have that as the discussion. Like, hey, I know we have two different sounds. Can we work on doing something creative about that?
Right.
Like, can we work with that? Don't just look at me and be like, when I know what kind of music you listen to, like, I literally half the time go, have you heard me? Have you listened to my music?
Right.
But also, like, this is where I was getting to before, like, yes, those singers can hop on that trap beat. Those singers can hop on that drill beat. But is it developing them as a singer in the sense of their vocal range and where that they can get themselves to? Because those singers, those soulful singers, like, yo, I want to riff like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I want to be able to build my riff. And I started realizing that the more I was putting myself in the scene of rap music a little bit more, I started changing myself as an artist. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, this is not what I want to do. This isn't my sound. This isn't what I want to sound like.
It's a collaboration. So
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to change
whether it's a
too much.
feature or not, right?
Right, and so I noticed, I mean, now I'm trying to rebuild what I had before, which is I was able to riff a certain way. I was able to hit certain vocals. I was able to hit a certain vocal range and get full sound there. But now that I haven't really practiced in that range because I'm trying to fit around a certain sound, it's gone. Like, I've lost some of that sound. And now I'm, like, trying to go back to the drawing board and get that
And
back.
fix it. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel like just certain, not everybody, but like certain rappers or artists aren't being as considerate as they should be when they're asking for features and things like that?
I wouldn't even say much like considerate. I would say just study music a little bit more.
Okay.
I would say just develop yourself in music a little bit more. It's not anything wrong with trying to mash those two sounds, but know music so that you can do it properly without completely butchering it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to know how to play with certain things like that, and that's where, like, you know, people are like, yo, you don't have to go to school for music. No, you don't have to go to school for music.
But do you
But
research?
school can help you get to that level where you're able to be like, yo, I'm going to take this rap artist and put him with this soulful artist. And, like, I can do that because I know music and I know how sound works.
And if you're not going to go to school for it, do your research.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Do
Don't just sit
studying
on what you don't know. Try to learn something.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Right. Okay. So, is there anything else that you might not be too happy about the? I know I'm digging a little bit.
The only comment I will leave here will
See?
and this is mostly for male rappers.
Okay. Okay.
And, you know, singers who are women. Don't be creepy. Don't invite me to your studio session just because you want to talk. Don't invite me to your studio session late as fuck at night because you want me to be up in your build. No.
That's male rappers and anybody. Males.
Don't be creepy and
male rappers do that to everybody.
Right.
You trying to slide to the studio?
No.
Yeah, like don't ask me, a woman of all things, and you as a man, don't ask me to hop in at your studio session at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going. I'm sorry. Do an adamant time that actually I feel safe and I feel like I am in a place that I can still, you know, catch a bus outside or go do what I gotta go do for the day. But
the Perry's is not a good place to have your stew.
Right, like
Wait, what? We having studios in the Perry's?
Niggas have stews.
You
in the
been to a
Perry's.
studio in the Perry's? You bold.
I'm just saying, niggas have stews in the Perry's. I'm not talking too much. I'm just saying,
you wild.
Niggas, I didn't say I was there.
I know the Perry's. I know family in the Perry's. I didn't know the Perry's like back of my hand. I'm never.
Niggas have stews in places like the Perry's in Montana.
Montana's okay.
Is it?
I live right next to Montana.
Okay. Just because you live next to it.
You good.
You shouldn't have to keep your head down.
That should be the natural movement when you somewhere you don't feel like you
That's a fact.
keep your head down. Why you walking with your head tall? You don't live around there. That's dangerous. You make emotions.
I don't want to go to an area like that.
Where are you from? And all this shit. It's like, come on, bro.
They gonna ask you as long as you keep your head down and keep moving.
I'm just trying to do a song, bro. I'm not here for all this
Lift
shit.
your head up. You gonna get asked where you from because you look like you from around there, but they ain't never seen you.
Definitely don't be creepy at all with anybody.
Yeah.
But
men, women,
especially if you're trying to
creepy,
conduct
bro.
business.
Keep it on a business thing. Like, if you genuinely are like, yo, I'm kind of interested in her and I am a single woman, which I'm not. If I was a single woman and you were like, yo, I genuinely am interested in her, don't make it about business. Then hit me up on that kind of time. Hey, I'm interested in you, but I still also want to work with you a little bit. Do you wanna?
Is that okay? Does that sound?
Is that cool? Can we meet up in the studio? Can we hang out? Can we make music? Great, but say what your intentions are when you first hit me up. Don't hit me up on this is business, but I'm also gonna be kind of creepy and ask you creepy questions.
Well, they probably don't think they're creepy. Well,
no, they know they're creepy. They know they're creepy because why would you hit me up in a business thing if you're trying to creep?
You know what?
If we're trying to creep.
And I've heard numerous stories about niggas inviting women over and they're like, oh, we're gonna work. and then
I don't know what the movement's on nowadays.
And it don't turn into when it's not work or no work gets done because
it's just very uncomfortable. You're not just in a room like this, waiting for your friend to call you to say that you really have to go right now.
Right. And you get that text message like, yo, sis, bro.
Call me and say it's emergency.
Right now.
911. I gotta leave now. Okay.
And that's just tainting the industry.
And especially like, yo, if you want other artists to work with you, just don't be creepy. Because singers talk in the city. We all talk to each other, and just like rappers all talk to each other. Like we all hang out together and know each other. This city is so freaking small, bro. There is nothing that you can do that is not going to be known. That people are not going to talk about.
A lot as well.
Like you're not going to get away with very much without someone talking about you. So just move it.
You tie your shoes wrong in this motherfucker there and let you know that somebody.
And if it is a late night studio session and you want the singer to come there, just say that, yo, I know it's late. If you don't want to come, like, I get it. Like, be understandable. Like, I'm a very understandable person. I'm not here to be like, yo, you have to do it this way or else something like that. But, yo, like, let me know what your intentions are. Just don't be creepy. And if I feel a bad vibe and I tell you I can't make it to a studio session, there's a reason.
Well, if you're going to have a late session, like some people work and shit like that, now that's a different conversation. Like, I can only do sessions between 10 and 12 because I got to work. Yeah. Okay, that's different, but let people know that too.
Right.
Yeah, and not just be like, let's
slide through at midnight, bro.
I sleep.
Wait. And then the kicker is like, and then I pull up and there's like 10 guys in the studio and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home now. Like, friend, call me.
Please,
tell me I gotta go.
I never understood, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit. I never understood that stigma of having mad niggas in the studio that's not contributing to nothing.
Because studio sessions turn into hangout sessions.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe, okay.
And I guess, like, it does kind of bring out your creativity because you got, like, you joking around, you're laughing. Like, think about the times that we've recorded.
That's true.
We've got a good time out of it. But if you're paying for the studio session,
that's
it's not your own studio.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Bitch, get the fuck out of my studio.
Because, like, when I'm paying, unless I got, like, features, like, it's cool when I'm in the house because this is all my shit.
Right.
That's fine. We could chill. But when I'm paying and shit, I'm talking about when niggas is paying and they bring their whole squad to smoke and do all that shit. You're wasting your time, bro, because y'all gonna end up kicking it and talking. When I pay, I just go in and get out. Like, that's just it. And maybe that's not the best way to do it.
Personally, even when I pay for studio sessions, I still invite my friends who are not artists. It's a vibe for me.
Okay.
It's more of a comfortability, especially when I record. I don't record with other artists. There are no artists there unless those artists are on my song.
Right. So and I definitely agree with that. I definitely feel like, it definitely can create a comfortability and it can kind of bring out the creativity in you. But also, like, with me personally, when I record, I like having my song already, like, ready to go. So there's not much of a vibe check that I really need. Like, I create my own vibe. Right. So at the end of the day,
singing
and what's great though, like, I will say what's cool about having people in your studio session is someone to smoke with, is someone to kind of like be like. But when you're bringing your homies to the studio session, like, have them know a little bit about music, have them know a little bit about what they're talking about, so that at least, like, they can be a constructive person they're criticizing, like, hey, I think you should do it like this, or hey, I think you should do it like that.
I think it's very different. One, when you have somebody else coming to the studio session, when somebody pays you for a studio session and you got other people in there, that's off the wall. That's out of line. And studio sessions are kind of short, to be honest. If you want to do 3 songs in 3 hours and you want any of them bitches mixed, you got 2
hours to record.
You really need to be focused.
You gotta get moving.
And but I mean, if you're in there just to, like, if it's like your studio, you don't really mind, like, whatever, you got the baller money to be out here, then fine, invite your friends.
Oh yeah, if you got the bread, I guess it don't matter.
You got the bread to do it. Go out here and do it. But listen, I don't got bread like that. I'm in there to make money, or I'm in there to use my time wisely for the money that I've spent. So.
And hopefully make money after.
Hopefully make money. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's it. That's it.
This camera's holding on to your life.
Are you serious? Wow, that's crazy.
No, it's on 0%. It's good still going. 12 minutes and 16 seconds.
Good shit. Okay, real quick. I'd like to say thank you so much, Micaela, for coming. Her name. I'm gonna make it work. Watch, I'm gonna make it work.
All right.
Thank you, Micaela, so much for coming. Her name is also Incense if you're talking about music and business. that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Rick,
I'm so close.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. All right. So this is another episode of the R&P Podcast. We appreciate anybody who's listening either on YouTube or Spotify. I know people feel a lot more comfortable listening on Spotify. I definitely understand that. But with these more visual episodes, we are going to start trying to get more active on YouTube with the episodes and maybe even a little something on the side in between and everything. But like Steve said, we really appreciate our guest. We hope, be on again. If she felt like this was fun, and then anybody else hit us up on our R&P R&P anything really, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you
everything, baby.
Yeah, she was a guest on the episode, but like you've seen before, we've done interviews. So if you got a project coming out, if you got some type of content coming out, or you want to talk to us about it, or you just want to be here for the vibe, we might even be able to fit you in for that. But really, this is what, episode 22 at this point?
22, I believe.
All right, episode.
Made it fucking happen.